The Billionaire's silence. It was one of those quiet evenings in New York City when the world outside seemed to slow down just a little. The streets glistened under the soft glow of streetlights, and a gentle rain had left the air fresh and cool. Inside La Estrella Dorada, a small but elegant restaurant tucked away near Central Park, everything felt calm and timeless. Soft piano music drifted through the dining room like a whisper. White tablecloths caught the warm light of flickering candles. The scent of fresh herbs, roasted garlic, and warm bread filled the space. It was the kind of place where time moved gently, allowing conversations to unfold naturally. Sofia Ramirez moved between the tables with quiet grace. At 28, she carried herself with a steady dignity that came from years of hard work and quiet strength. Her dark hair was neatly pulled back, and her simple black uniform was always clean and pressed. She had come to New York from a modest Mexican-American family, chasing dreams of education while supporting her mother back home. Nights like this were long, but Sofia found peace in the small details, the way a customer's shoulders relaxed after the first sip of wine, or the gentle smile of an elderly regular who always ordered the same dish. That evening, the heavy wooden door opened, and in walked Alejandro Vargas. He was tall, impeccably dressed in a tailored dark suit that spoke of wealth most people only read about. At 42, Alejandro had built a vast technology empire from nothing. His companies touched lives across continents, yet success had left him guarded, often sharp with those he considered beneath him. He scanned the room with green eyes that missed little, then took a seat at a corner table by the window. The city lights twinkled beyond the glass like distant stars. Sofia approached calmly, notepad in hand. "Good evening, sir. Welcome to La Estrella Dorada. May I start you with something to drink?" Alejandro barely looked up at first. He glanced at the menu, then muttered under his breath in German, a language he had learned during years of European business deals. "Dies Kellnerin sieht aus wie ein Einfake-Dienstmagd. Wahrscheinlich verstet sie kein Wort davon." The words slipped out with casual cruelty. "This waitress looks like a simple maid. She probably doesn't understand a word." Sofia paused for the briefest moment. Her expression remained warm and professional, but something shifted deep inside her. She poured sparkling water with a slice of lemon, her movements slow and deliberate. The restaurant hummed softly around them, quiet laughter from another table, the clink of silverware, the piano playing a gentle melody. Alejandro ordered an expensive Cabernet and a main course, still speaking mostly to himself in that foreign tongue. As she worked, Alejandro watched her. Sofia helped an older woman at the next table choose a lighter dish, explaining each option with patience and care. Her voice was soft, her posture straight. He felt a flicker of irritation. People usually rushed to please him. Women smiled too brightly. Staff hurried. But this waitress moved as though she belonged exactly where she was. It unsettled him. When Sofia returned with his wine, Alejandro spoke again in German, louder this time, testing her. "Schau dir dies Frauen. Sie arbeitet hier den ganzen Tag für ein paar Dollar und denkt, dass das Leben fair ist. We naive. Look at this woman. She works here all day for a few dollars and thinks life is fair. How naive." The candlelight danced across the table. Sofia set the glass down carefully. Then, in perfect, fluent German with a calm and measured tone, she replied. "Vielleicht bin ich naiv, Herr Vargas. Aber ich have gelernt, das Respekt nicht vom Bankkonto kommt. Es kommt aus dem Herzen. Und Herz hut haben sehr leer zu saying." Perhaps I am naive, Mr. Vargas. But I have learned that respect does not come from a bank account. It comes from the heart. And your heart seems very empty tonight. The words landed like a quiet thunderclap. Alejandro's hand froze on the stem of the wine glass. His confident expression shattered into pure astonishment. The man who closed million-dollar deals without blinking now sat speechless. The piano continued its soft melody. Other diners remained unaware, lost in their own worlds. But for Alejandro, the entire restaurant seemed to hold its breath. "You speak German?" he finally managed, switching to English. His voice sounded smaller than he intended. Sofia nodded gently, placing a basket of warm bread on the table. "Yes, sir. I lived in Berlin for 4 years on a scholarship. I worked in cafes and restaurants just like this one to pay my way. I learned that people are more alike than they are different, no matter how much money they have." She spoke without anger, only quiet truth. The atmosphere around their table grew more intimate. The rain outside tapped lightly against the window, Alejandro stared at her as though seeing her for the first time. The sharp words he had thrown out so carelessly now echoed back, exposing him. He felt heat rise in his face, not from rage, but from something deeper, shame mixed with curiosity. "I should not have said those things," he said after a long pause. "I apologize." Sofia offered a small, understanding smile. It was not triumphant. It was kind. "Everyone makes mistakes, Mr. Vargas. What matters is what we do after them. I serve many guests like you, people who have everything, yet still feel something is missing." Their conversation unfolded slowly over the course of the meal. Between courses, Alejandro found himself sharing pieces of his life he rarely revealed. He spoke of endless meetings, the pressure of staying ahead, the loneliness that came with private jets and empty mansions. Sofia listened without judgment. In return, she told him about her mother raising 3 children alone after losing their father, about late-night study sessions after long shifts, and about her dream of becoming a teacher one day. The restaurant gradually emptied. The piano player finished his set. Only a few candles remained lit, casting long, peaceful shadows. Alejandro paid the bill, leaving a generous tip, but the money felt unimportant now. Before leaving, he asked for her number, not as a powerful man expecting obedience, but as someone genuinely wanting to understand. The next day, they met at a small, unpretentious cafe in Queens. No luxury, just good coffee and simple pastries. Alejandro arrived early, dressed more casually. He watched Sofia walk in, carrying the same calm presence from the restaurant. They talked for hours. He visited her modest apartment later that week, noticing the carefully tended plants on the windowsill, the family photos on the walls, and the stacks of well-read books. For the first time in years, he helped chop vegetables in her tiny kitchen, laughing awkwardly when he cut himself. Their friendship grew in gentle stages. Alejandro began to see the world through different eyes. He quietly funded scholarships for students like the ones Sofia had received. He visited community centers and listened, really listened, to stories from people fighting similar battles his own parents once faced. The armor of arrogance he had worn for so long started to fall away, revealing a man who still carried old wounds. One rainy afternoon, the gentle twist in their story deepened. Sitting on a bench in the park as droplets fell softly around them, Alejandro spoke about the brother he had lost in a car accident many years earlier. The guilt had driven him to build walls of wealth and distance. "I thought money could fix everything," he admitted quietly. "But it couldn't bring him back. It couldn't fill the emptiness." Sofia took his hand in hers, her touch warm and steady. "Money helps in many ways, but it doesn't heal the heart. That takes time, connection, and choosing kindness every day." From that moment, their bond strengthened. Alejandro supported Sofia's return to school part-time. She helped him reconnect with his roots, reminding him of the values his parents had taught. Months passed. The once distant billionaire now found joy in simple things, shared meals, long walks, honest conversations. On another quiet evening, they returned to La Estrella Dorada. This time, they sat together at a table as equals. The candles flickered just as they had on that first night. The piano played the same gentle tunes. Alejandro looked across at Sofia, his eyes soft with gratitude. "You left me speechless that night," he said. "And ever since, my words have been better ones." Sofia smiled, her eyes shining with quiet emotion. "And I learned that even the most powerful people can change. Thank you for listening." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, letting the atmosphere wrap around them like a warm blanket. Outside, the city continued its restless rhythm, but inside, peace had taken root. What began as a cruel joke had blossomed into a profound lesson in humility, respect, and human connection. Alejandro and Sofia proved that true wealth lies not in bank accounts, but in the hearts we open and the lives we touch. Their story continued in small, meaningful ways, supporting each other's dreams, facing challenges together, and remembering that every person, no matter their station, carries a story worth hearing. In a world that often moves too fast, they chose to walk slowly, with kindness as their guide.